Hello, YouTube. Rain Chan Pine back at you with another book review. Today is the book The Quantum Divine Nexus by Armand Martin. Um, so this book is about 400 pages, and it was a bit difficult to get through. The print is not big, but it's a nice book. This book is one of those that I had difficulty getting through, but it also really embodies the whole saying that you're able to, one should be able to agree to disagree with people. You might not be able to agree with everybody you come into contact with in your life as regards to life, your spirituality, your belief systems, your values. But if you can respect the other person and their viewpoints, then I think that says something about your character. A lot of times in life, we want to be with like-minded individuals and can't be with people who differ from us in any way and have respect for them. The Quantum Divine Nexus is by an author, Armand Martin, who I believe is European. He grew up and he had the mentality that everything needs to be proved by science. If it's not proven with facts and reasoning, then it's not really based in anything and it doesn't mean anything. So he starts the book talking about feminism and how he grew up thinking that kind of men were flawed and that women usually were right because women were the ones with the shorter end of the stick. He goes into how he came up from, built his own business, came up, made money, got to a point in life where he had riches and had all the material things that one thinks that basically defines success. And he still got to that point. He had money and he still felt quite empty. He had relationships with women and found out that a lot of the women that he came into contact with had narcissistic tendencies or were narcissists, and they exhibited evil in their actions and in their behavior. He was a person who grew up with a mom who was a feminist, and as he grew up and went through life, he was pretty much friend zoned by women that he had interest in until he had money and started attracting women who wanted that. Essentially, the first part of the book is about how the idea of feminism has become twisted and women no longer have, and this is from a man's point of view, so I kind of read through it and didn't really totally agree, but he says that feminism now has become something that has twisted not all women, but there's an idea in our culture that we are deserving without really having to put in work. We're deserving of the best of the man. Women are out here not really doing any inner work or not really self-reflecting, but wanting men who will give them the world, and then they want to be dominant outside of the bedroom as well. Not really sure if I agree with everything he talks about, the breakdown of the family and how women no longer cherish children and families as much because they're seeking career. There's nothing wrong with seeking career, and women's goal in life is not to be married and have kids. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. If you want to have that family life, that's completely fine if that's your choice. But the idea that society is crumbling down because lots of females are narcissists and the feminist movement has become twisted, that's debatable. I do agree that there are some women out there who might not have everything going for them and expect a man who's completely perfect. That is true. Then he goes on to talk about how he came from a scientific background and liked reasoning and sound logic. But as he went through physics and quantum mechanics, he realized there were things that science just couldn't explain. And so he started going towards spirituality. And then he found Islam. He used AI, and through AI's computational skills, ones that is far exceeding that of a human being, he was able to kind of cross-reference some certain characteristics with the major religions of the world: Hinduism, Buddhism, Christianity, Islam, and Judaism, and found that Islam was something that surpasses expectations in terms of its sort of discussion of oneness of the universe, the text itself, the wording, the language, the number of times words appear, words that are a duality: life, death, man, woman, light, darkness. And for him, as he tried to find out what was the true essence of life, he was led towards Islam. And I found that to be beautiful. He goes on to say towards the end of the book that he found out through this whole project of writing this book, the Quantum Divine Nexus, that he was led towards Islam, and it led him to believe that there's oneness in the universe, that the thoughts, the actions, the purpose, the intent we put out is what we receive back, which is something I truly believe in. That each person has to walk their own path and find their purpose through asking questions, through seeking knowledge. And so in my spiritual journey, I've been loving to read, and each time I read a book, I get a little tidbit. And this book was one that really destigmatized the religion of Islam. And he does talk at the end of the book in the appendix about some of the Western ideas of Islam and the polarization that's often happens, especially in the West, us versus them, and which has caused people to look at Islam as some backwards type of religious faith. Everyone has their opinions, but I like the aspects of this book that discuss oneness, that discuss the connectedness of all things in the universe, about the consciousness, the presence that exists all around us, the energy that exists all around us, and the ability for us to manifest our life through purpose, through doing things, not just for ourselves, but for others, not just seeking riches. Riches are a benefit of seeking that which really resonates with the person, and that which brings somebody into their purpose. So, if you are interested in a discussion about how science and spirituality are essentially one, then the Quantum Divine Nexus is for you. As a woman, I will say, disclaimer that at the beginning of the book, it might be difficult to get through because it's a man's perspective about feminism, though he does also state a disclaimer in the book as well. So, with that, this has been Rain Shine Fine, and look forward to the next one.